96.9 FM, WAZZ, rocking you hard, rocker. At least that's what I'm trying to do here. Harvard University now under pressure tonight from the Trump administration, according to a published report the White House has sent out, saying that they are so furious with this institution of higher learning. They're kind of over it. I'm over it too, rocker. It may pull an additional $1 billion in funding to these higher education institutions. What I'm talking about here, rocker, Harvard University shows no sign of giving up on their fight to get that money. Now the school is suing the Trump administration, saying that these fund cuts are unconstitutional. Now, Harvard University is bracing for impact yet again, with the White House planning to cut another $1 billion in federal funding, according to the Wall Street Journal. So far, more than $2 billion in federal funds have been frozen as the White House Republican leaders open a civil rights investigation into Harvard. Want to make sure maybe that they're on their game. Now, what do you do when you're in a bind? You got to talk about health and safety, and that's just exactly what Harvard says, that the funding cuts are impacting its school of public health, as the Massachusetts governor says that they are bad for science. I don't know what the hell that means, but I guess when you lose your job, maybe you could go back, if you got fired, maybe, and go back to the boss man and say, hey, this is impacting my public health. It just sounds ridiculous. But it's not just Republicans that think that Ivy League schools have lost their way. Epstein says, I think that millions around the country are cheering what Donald Trump is doing with respect to Harvard. I think it's a view that's long, long overdue. And it's not just Harvard protesting these funding cuts. Campuses across the country are getting upset about not getting all that money from your tax dollars. Oh, here's what they're doing, rocker. They're acting like little babies, and they are protesting by handcuffing themselves to the Columbia's gates. Police are busy making the arrests. I don't know about you, rocker, but I think this country is just so far down the tubes that, we're in so much debt. Wouldn't you like to have some of that money put back in your own pocket, rocker? Maybe if they quit taxing us to death. Why in the world? I guess I just don't understand why all these fancy colleges, why these colleges such as Harvard and Yale and maybe some of these other ones, if you know your big colleges, your fancy royalty colleges, maybe you could tell me why they're getting billions of dollars in funds. There's a college here in Willow Springs. I don't understand. It looks like a damn mansion popping up on every corner. They own half the town. And it's kind of an upscale college. At least it's getting there. The hell, they gonna own half the town by the time they get done. I would hate to think of how much money it costs to go to these places. But apparently the Trump administration is reconsidering giving all this money away to these places. I don't blame him. Man, save some of that money for ourselves. You mean we couldn't save a couple million and give that money to maybe those folks in the mountains in North Carolina that got flooded out by Helene, that spent all winter homeless in the cold on the wet ground? What about them California wildfires? We couldn't give that money to them. I mean, half the state got burnt to the ground. Where are those people at? Where are those folks living now? The news stopped covering that. Open your eyes, rocker. It's in front of us. It's right there in front of you. But everyone wants to get wrapped up with the media in their political agenda. And let's take our minds off of the real facts and take our sights off of the priorities, and let's focus on stupid stuff, like trying to figure out what sex and gender you are, what bathroom to use, and should we let the trans folks walk around in the military? By God, hell, nobody knows what gender they are anymore. Good Lord, look between your legs. All right, Roger, I'm going to get off your case here. I just don't understand these silly old colleges making all this money and still wanting to take our tax dollars. We're already in enough debt as it is. But I hate it for the school's public health. I don't know how the fundings are compromising public health. But okay, next, you might want to play the racist card. Good Lord. 96.9 FM, WAZZ. It's a rockin' good time.